What to know about Corbett Center Student Union and the Spiritual Center. Hosting reoccurring meetings. The auditorium and ballrooms are not to be used as regular meeting space for student organization or university departments unless special approval has been granted by the director of Corbett Center. Students who can prove over time that the other meeting spaces in Corbett Center Student Union cannot accommodate the size of their reoccurring event may submit a request in writing to the director of Corbett Center, who will review the requests on a case-by-case basis. Each student organization will be allowed to schedule one group business meeting or approved weekly activity and one officers meeting. An organization may request approval to schedule more than one meeting/activity in a week if the total number of meetings/activities does not exceed 16 in one semester or 6 in a summer session. The maximum duration of a meeting is limited to 4 hours and cannot occur on consecutive days. While common areas in the Corbett Center Student Union may be used by student organizations or individuals for small meetings, they will not be formally scheduled or reserved for such purposes. Study rooms on the second floor that can be checked out by full-time main campus and MSU students are not to be used for student organization meeting and event purposes as they are for academic purposes only. During the student organization priority booking window, begins March 1st for the following academic year, student organizations and university departments may only schedule one weekly business or staff meeting. Beginning April 1st, student organizations and university departments are permitted to schedule an additional weekly officer or other meeting. This gives all student organizations the opportunity to schedule one meeting before groups schedule a second meeting. Meeting and events during the summer can be booked at any time. Auditorium reservations. The Corbett Center Student Union Auditorium cannot be scheduled for recurring university business meetings or student events. However, if a student organization can prove over time that other meeting spaces in Corbett Center Student Union cannot accommodate the size of their recurring event, the student organization may submit a request in writing to the director of Corbett Center, who will review the requests on a case-by-case basis. The expected minimum attendance for an event must be 40. For events with expected attendance less than 40, a more suitable room will be reserved unless no other meeting room is available. Student dance organizations will be limited to one rehearsal reservation per week leading up to the date of the event. Any additional setup of furniture or equipment requested for rehearsals will come at a cost. The outdoor stage. All events must be approved by the director of Corbett Center. Event planners will obtain approval prior to booking the event. The Spiritual Center. The Spiritual Center is free to use for all spiritual-based student organizations. Spiritual-based student organizations may only book the Spiritual Center for up to 1 month in advance. Event planners may allow the organization to book subsequent months on a wait status, but it is up to the student organization to call the planner and confirm each subsequent date as it hits the under 30-day mark. Non-spiritual-based student organizations may book the Spiritual Center with the approval of the director of Corbett Center, but use charges will apply. Event planners will obtain approval prior to booking the event. Fees for meeting rooms and event spaces. No fees apply for meeting rooms for student or department events or information tables that fall within their regular business operations. Fees apply when a student organization or university department charges a fee to attend or asks for money donations to attend, regardless of how the money is to be used, to cover the cost of food, pay for the speaker, etc. An exception to this rule is made for student organizations hosting a fundraising event for which all monies collected will go towards their organization. They are permitted to host one fundraising event per semester with no applicable use fees. Fees apply if the event is publicized as open to the public. Conference Services considers any advertising not done through internal promotional channels that does not explicitly say the event is only open to NMSU students, faculty, and staff as advertising to the public. Fees apply for Doniana Community College and Burrell College of Osteopathic Medicine. However, Doniana Community College receives the internal rates. Fees apply for all meeting rooms and event spaces booked by a community group. Fees for equipment. No fees apply for student organizations to use equipment that is a part of the as-is setup of the room, i.e. the media center in the Senate chambers or the projector in the Doniana room. Fees apply when student organizations ask for a different setup than the as-is setup of the room. Fees apply when the student organization would like additional audio-visual added to the room, i.e. a projector in the Socorro room, a microphone in the Senate gallery, or a speaker on the outdoor stage. Information tables. Because there is limited reservable space in Lobby 1 and the outdoor spaces surrounding Corbett Center Student Union, student organizations or university departments can only reserve one information table per week in advance to present information pertaining to their organization. For additional tabling days a student organization or university department would like to reserve in 1 week, they may call the assigned event planner between 12 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. the day before the requested date to determine availability. If there is a tabling space available at the time, the student organization or university department may add it to their original booking date. The student organization or university department must then contact the Office of Student Involvement and Leadership Programs to notify them of the added date. There is no limit on the number of days a student organization can reserve an information table for the first 2 weeks of each semester. Reservations are on a first-come, first-served basis. More than one day in a given week may be reserved if the table presents information for events that are in the interest of the whole university community. Examples include ASNMSU elections, homecoming, and voter registration. Fundraising. Student organizations are limited to 5 tables per semester for fundraising. These tables can be scheduled on different dates or 5 consecutive days, following the rules above. Catering in meeting rooms. NMSU Dining Flavors Catering has exclusive catering rights in the Corbett Center on the outdoor stage and at all CCSU tabling locations. No other off-campus vendors are allowed unless granted special approval by NMSU Dining. Catering is permitted in all meeting rooms except the auditorium. Catering for the auditorium events can be set up and must be consumed in the Lobby 2 area directly outside the auditorium entrance. Hosting an event with alcohol. Student organizations requesting alcohol at their social events will be required to order catering in the amount of $500 or $5 per person for each person attending the event, whichever is greater. When student organizations have ordered a cash or hosted bar as part of their event, food must be available for participants throughout the event. Alcohol service will stop when food is no longer being served. All alcohol and bar service at the Corbett Center Student Union must be coordinated through NMSU Dining Services. Security will be required at all student organization events with alcohol throughout the duration of the event, and an appropriate security charge applies.